Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Kedman Sports. We're on a team number 4 of 130 that we're creating in Doug Flutie's Maximum Football 2019. And today we're just going to kind of reverse engineer this team. This is the first time that I haven't really had a team picked out in advance. So be prepared for some quick cuts and stuff like that, just because if I showed you the entire thought process I was going through, it would take way longer than I want these videos to be. So first thing we're going to do is actually pick the logo that we're going to work with. And this kind of like Grim Reaper logo I've kind of wanted to use since I saw it in the game. There's a lot of stuff you can do with a cool logo like this. So we're just going to kind of stick with the nickname of a Reaper, and we're going to actually put it in Baton Rouge for Baton Rouge State. I really like alliteration in team names, so Baton Rouge Reapers just kind of rolls off the tongue. And then we're going to stick with that kind of theme through the abbreviation and state, and obviously like that. And then for the colors, we're pretty much just going to try to match what's in the logo there, which is kind of a deep purple paired with a really dark gray. But you can kind of see in the blade that there's a couple different grays, so we don't have to be exact for the dark one. We can try to match the lighter one if we want to try to make it a little bit more easier to work with. Two really dark colors make for really difficult jersey creation. So we're going to try to resemble the logo as much as possible, but also make it easier on ourselves. And then as always, we're just going to randomize the stadium, just because the game only has, I think, maybe 11 default stadiums, something like that. So now that all the team info's in, we'll switch over to the jersey, and like always, we're going to start with the helmet. So similar to the team itself, we're going to kind of reverse engineer this and put the logo on the helmet first to see what we're working with. And luckily, the game already has most of these logos kind of flipped on the helmet already, so you don't have to worry about flipping it to make sure it's mirrored on both sides. So now with the logo, we'll go to the base color for the helmet, and obviously we're going to probably use either a purple or a gray. I really like the dark gray that we have to work with on this logo, and I also think it's going to make the logo pop off the helmet a bit more. So I think we're going to go that route, and then kind of go from there with the rest of the helmet. Luckily, what we're working with here with the dark gray and the purple is they're very closely resembled colors, but also they're different from each other in the same sense that you can put them next to each other and you're going to definitely see the purple pop more, but they're both very dark colors. But for the sake of the helmet, for the first time, I'm just going to use a solid helmet color with the same colored face mask. I think this dark gray does enough by itself that you don't need to put anything else on this helmet. I think putting purple or white or any other color on this helmet would almost take away from the gray and actually make the design worse. So we're just going to go with a solid helmet with the same solid colored face mask for this Baton Rouge team, which is, like I've said, it's a unique factor to this team that I haven't done with any of the other teams yet. So there's a look at the helmet that we just finished up with that all kind of solid color. Now we're going to transition over to the jersey, and something I'm going to do with the font for this one is go with I believe it's pronounced Roboto, which I don't know how else you would pronounce it, but we're going to use this font because I haven't used it yet, and then we're going to put Reapers across the chest. And now we're going to get into the jersey. While I'm making the jersey, I just want to say one thing about the helmets in these games that I wish you could do, and I think this is something that Maximum Football should definitely look into in the future, is making the finishes different. If you watch college football, one of the big things that they have is you can watch one team that has just the traditional finish, but then the next team has a matte, the next team has almost like a lightning color. Just to be able to do that in this game would really make the creation a lot better and a lot more unique. Granted, I've never made a video game, so I have no idea how hard it is to add a feature like that, but I definitely think it would be something that they should look into. So as we're continuing with this jersey, you can see I'm sticking with this kind of like stealth gray, dark gray, however you want to put it, monotone color through the jersey. Right now, since we're creating with a team that has this kind of default burgundy maroonish kind of color, it's starting to look a little bit like Washington State, which if you've watched Washington State, their jerseys are plain, but there's just enough to it that makes it pop. And so I'm just going to kind of use that as an inspiration as we're going. As I said, I didn't have a plan for this team before making it, and we're just kind of going with what we see as we go along and create here. So to create at least some color on the jersey, I am going to make the collar that purple color to kind of contrast from the gray from the rest of the jersey. But the all gray jersey with the all gray helmet looks pretty good, I think. So now we're going to transition over to the number, and this is where I'm going to use that purple again. I'm going to use it on the inside of the number with kind of that white outline, and we're also going to draw that into the text. Now, luckily this is just a video game, so we don't have to worry about this. Being someone who has worked in a press box, this jersey is slowly becoming a nightmare if you would have to stat, because you're not going to be able to see those numbers against the jersey, but it's just a video game, and hopefully that white makes it pop just enough so if you're playing with this team, you can tell which receiver you're throwing it to based on their number that you can see. So now we're going to move over to the pants, and I think I'm going to stick with the white pants, but for the first time on this uniform, we're going to throw a stripe on it. All white pants are pretty awful unless you have a really, really loud jersey, and in this case, we have the opposite of a loud jersey. So we're going to throw a stripe on the side of the pants, and we're just going to go with a bold purple stripe, nothing too elaborate, but enough to kind of make them look better than just all white pants. So now with the socks, we're going to kind of go with a traditional football look here with the white on the bottom half, and then just a solid tone on top, and we're going to use the purple again there. Something that I always think is kind of cool with jerseys, if you can make the stripe look like it's almost like spilling into the sock. I don't know why, but I think it looks pretty cool, and it just kind of helps the pants flow. So right here, you're going to see it looks like the purple is basically flowing into the socks, from the stripe down the pants into the socks. So there's a full look at the home jersey that we've made, and now we're going to transition over to the away jersey. So something different I'm doing with this team is this is actually our first state school, believe it or not. It's Baton Rouge State. So instead of putting that entire title across the chest, we're just going to do Baton Rouge, just because Baton Rouge State looks awkward, whereas it's the same font size, it just takes up less space and it kind of brings more balance to the jersey. But in terms of colors, we're going to kind of stick along the same lines of the home jersey and just go with that all white, but do an accent color on the collar with the purple. And then we can really use the numbers and the text to really pop off this jersey. Although with the gray and the purple, it's a little bit more different. Like if you had like a teal and a black or something like that, or turquoise and a black, that'll really pop a lot better off of a all white jersey than two really dark colors. But regardless, that's what we have to work with here, and you want to keep that continuity between home and away jerseys. So although it might not be the best combination, it's still the one we're going to work with. Just because, I think I've said this in a past video, all away jerseys are going to be pretty simplistic and pretty plain for the most part, but they're supposed to be. To me, that's part of a home field advantage, is in most sports, you get the better uniform combination that fans really identify with. That's one of the things a lot of fans will get excited about going to a game, is knowing what jersey the home team's going to be wearing. And so now that we've got that, we're going to go with the gray on the inside of the number, purple on the outside. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference if you want to flip them or not. I kind of tried both ways. But like all teams we've created so far, we are going to make the away pants different from the home pants. And the first thing we're going to do with that is make them gray. I think I've done it with almost every single road team I've made. I've made the away pants the same color as the away, or as the helmet, just because I do think it ties everything together. Now we're going to stick with the home jersey theme of putting a solid stripe on the pants, and this is kind of the first opportunity we've had to see purple kind of pop off of the gray canvas. You can see there that when you put a white stripe on the outside, you can't see the difference of the color, but when you bolden out the whole stripe, like we're going to do here, you can really kind of see the difference, and that purple really actually does pop off of the gray when it's in a bold font like that. So now we're to the socks, and we're going to do the same thing we did on the home jersey, the white on the bottom with a solid top color. And I think we're going to go with that purple on the top again, just because, actually, yeah, the purple is what we're going to go with on top here, just because I do like that spill down factor. And that'll be it for the away jersey, and the Baton Rouge State Reapers are complete. Team number 4 of 130. As always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe, put notifications on, give it a like. We've got a lot more teams to go, but as you can tell, each one is becoming different as we go, so a lot more in store for the rest of the 130. Thanks for watching.